wonderful people, having a great day, eh? We are doing awesome here in the UK, and today we'd like to tell you how to select the right AC unit, because that's where we are at the moment. Right, so in this program we're going to talk you through how AC works. Kingsley will do that.
Very briefly, very basic.
Awesome. So before you install your AC unit, there are a few things you want to take into consideration. So the first thing is the type of refrigerant you want to install. So there are two types. The first type is R410A and R22. Like Kingsley said, that
it's a fluid in the copper pipe.
In the copper pipe. Yeah, and it's called a fluid because
sometimes it's liquid and sometimes it's gas in the AC system. Exactly.
Okay, and then number two, the two main types of AC unit systems. So there's inverter driven and also fixed speed. I'd like to know what that means.
Yes, yes, very important, that one.
Now, this number three is very important: the availability of parts in Ghana. No, there are a few things we would love to buy to take to Ghana, like washing machine, and cooker, but they were like, oh, you need to make sure that the spare parts are there. So that kind of discouraged us. So it's very important to make sure that whatever thing you're installing, you need to make sure that the spare parts are there, are easily accessible. Otherwise you're going to have a problem. So when you're installing your AC unit, you need to make sure, speak to the people that are doing it, to make sure that there's availability of parts, of the spare parts in Ghana, just in case you got a problem. And also, the fourth one is the available manufacturers in Ghana. Yeah. You tell us a little bit about that. The available manufacturers.
Yeah, there are a few around. We are sport for choice, definitely.
So, guys, if this is your first time of watching us or seeing us here, please could you like, share, subscribe, and also click the notification button so that you get update whenever we come on. There are beautiful things to share with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching so far. Your likes, your comments, they are really helpful. Okay.
Indeed.
Thank you so much. Kind of inspires us. All right.
Exactly.
So Kingsley.
Good. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris. So first up is, how does air conditioning work? And again, very, very simply, I'm not going to go too technical because we are speaking to a broad range of people. From accountants to doctors, to nurses, whatever career. So I'm going to speak very, very basic. Right, so how does air conditioning work? Essentially, there's a picture on your screen that I'm showing you, just to give you the picture in your screen. You've got an indoor unit, okay, which we all know what it is. It's inside your rooms at high level. That's called the indoor unit, which in technical terms is referred to as the evaporator. Okay, then you've got the outdoor unit that makes the building look very horrible from looking from outside, and that's called the condenser. Okay, that's
that little box.
The box, yeah. Sometimes, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, but we tell you we're going to install ours at the low level, so you don't see from the ground.
Yeah, and kind of stains the wall, doesn't it? When it drips,
exactly,
it makes the wall yucky.
So indoor unit, evaporator; outdoor unit, condenser. Okay, now in simple terms, we have this fluid called the refrigerant that Crystal talked about, and that flows in between the indoor unit and the outdoor unit. Okay, so now when this fluid is moving from the outdoor unit into the indoor unit, it is cold. Okay, it is cold. Okay, and it's moving in a copper pipe. You've got the Armaflex over it, and if you don't know what Armaflex is, please watch the previous video, which we will link at the end of this video. Okay, the Armaflex is the black rubber foam, if you like, that goes around the copper to insulate it. In other words, to maintain the temperature of the fluid, to keep it cold, because it's going from the outdoor unit to the indoor unit. Once it gets to the indoor unit, which is the evaporator, it goes through the indoor unit. In the evaporator, there's a fan, and that fan, if you like, it draws the warm air of the room and it draws it into the indoor unit, draws it over the refrigerant and the copper pipes. So as the warm air is drawn over, the heat is transferred from the air to the refrigerant. So that's how your room gets cold. So then the refrigerant, or let's say fluid, now leaves the indoor unit, making its way back to the outdoor unit. So now the refrigerant is a bit warm, let's say, in basic terms. So then it goes to the condenser, and in the condenser has a fan in it, and that fan blows air over the refrigerant. Okay, there's also something called a compressor in the condenser, and that compresses, that kind of changes the fluid from liquid to gas, and all these things are happening. But again, I won't go into the details. But once those changes happen, it results in a further loss of heat from the refrigerant, okay, to the environment, and then it goes back cold to the indoor unit. So it's like a cycle, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad it does. It's a simple cycle, and that's how air conditioning works in simple terms. Okay, very simple terms. Now, the second point is the type of refrigerant. Crystal mentioned R410A versus R22. The refrigerant, again, is the fluid in the pipe that is really doing the heat transfer, going around, moving around, taking the heat from your from inside the house, and if you like, expelling it outside the house by help of fans and other mechanisms. Okay, now in Ghana you can have R22 or you can have R410. Now I would recommend that you always go with R410A. So when you're buying your AC unit, make sure, I would say my suggestion is to go for R410A. Okay.
Why?
I was waiting for that. Come on, a bit late. Why? Why? Because the R410A is more efficient when it comes to absorbing heat and rejecting heat.
Okay.
So if you're using the R410A, then your air conditioning can work more efficiently. Also, the R22 is an ozone depleting gas. Okay, so it's not great for the environment, and because it's not great for the environment, it is also gradually being phased out. So in the next maybe 5 years, there may not be any R22 anymore, and it'll be quite expensive to flush out your system if you go with R22 to start with and put R410A. And in fact,
it's not environmental friendly.
It's not environmentally friendly, the R22. Hence, it's being phased out. Maybe it won't be here after another 5 or so years. Who knows? It's also not as efficient at absorbing or rejecting heat as the R410A is. Which means your air conditioning system will not work as efficiently as it would do if it had R410A refrigerant in it. That makes sense, yeah? Okay, so that's a brief description of how the thing works, the refrigerant. Now we cover the types of AC units. This is key as well, because this really, electricity is expensive in Ghana, okay? So air conditioning, as you can imagine, is a big consumer of your electricity bill. Okay, so what I'm about to describe right now is very important if you want to keep your electricity bills to, the minimum, if you like. So there are two types of AC units, as my wife said. There is the inverter driven type, which people just say inverter, or you have the fixed speed type. Okay, now the inverter can also be called variable speed drive, just in case you come across that term. Okay, so what does it mean? What do these things mean? What does inverter mean? What does fixed speed mean? Okay, so a fixed speed AC unit is an AC unit where the fans, they work at a fixed speed. Right. Okay, the fans in the indoor unit and the outdoor unit, they work at a fixed speed. Now the fans, obviously, when they're working at this fixed speed, they're consuming a certain amount of electricity, or a certain amount of current. Okay, now depending on the temperature in your home, you don't always need the fans to be going at full speed. For example, if your room starts at about, let's say, 29 degrees Celsius, and you want it to cool down to 16 degrees Celsius, you may need the fans to move at a higher speed. But if, for example, your room is at 19 and you want it to go to 16, you don't necessarily need it to go so powerfully. Okay, because the faster the fan is running, the more current it's using, therefore the more electricity is consuming, and the higher your bill.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense, people? Okay, so this is the disadvantage of the fixed speed versions, because they work at the full speed no matter all the time. Right. No matter how much cooling.
You say full speed.
Full speed. The fan is going at full speed, or a fixed speed. Yeah, and it's going at that fixed speed no matter how much cooling is required. Okay. Which means you'll be paying higher bills. Okay. Now in Ghana, there's a star system, an energy star system, especially for the fixed speed air conditioning units. It starts from 1 star, 2 star, 3, all the way to 5 star. Now, the higher the number of stars, the more efficient your air conditioning unit is. Okay, and they call something EER, which means energy efficiency ratio. Well, all that means is that you are, for a certain amount of cooling, you need to apply a certain amount of, or use a certain amount of electricity, and the smaller amount of electricity you need to use to get the same amount of cooling, the more efficient your air conditioning is. It's called EER. So the 5-star is the most efficient when it comes to the fixed speeds, and the 1-star is the least efficient.
Right.
Okay. So if you are going for a fixed speed version, which I wouldn't recommend, then you want to be 4 or 5-star.
Right.
Yeah. Or let's say 3, 4, or 5-star. Nothing below 3. Okay. But I wouldn't recommend fixed speed anyway. Okay. What I would recommend is the inverter AC units. Inverter, sometimes called variable speed drive, whatever, but typically they call it inverter. Now, the inverter is equivalent to a 4-star straight off. Okay. Now, what is the inverter? In the inverter AC, it's the control is more intelligent. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So the fans in the indoor and the outdoor unit, the speed will change.
Right.
The speed will change depending on the amount of work it needs to do to cool your home.
Kind of sensitive.
Yes.
Has it got a sensor or something?
Yeah, they've all got sensors.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fixed speed always works at the same speed,
Right.
consuming your maximum current, electric current.
It's been set to do that.
Exactly. Whereas the inverter, it optimizes, it modulates. So, for example, if you need to cool from 28 or 29 down to 16, the system will need more electricity to cool it down for an inverter. But if you're going from, let's say, 19 to 16, it will use less electricity because it's only a smaller margin, for example. So the inverter is intelligent. It optimizes the amount of electricity you need to cool your home.
Okay.
But let me give you an analogy. Okay, if it's too technical. So the analogy is a fixed speed AC unit. Okay, it's like driving a car with a manual gearbox where you only have one gear. So let's say you only have gear 3. You use gear 3 to start and use gear 3 to go fast.
Yeah.
There's no other gears, just gear 3. Now you know a car is quite heavy, yeah. So gear 1 is more powerful in order to move that lump of metal. And then as you move, you go to gear 2, which is less powerful but more speed. And as you get faster and faster, you go to gear 3, which is even less powerful but more speed. Exactly. But the fixed speed is using gear 3 all the time. So if you need to use gear 3 to start a car, which it will stall completely, you need to use so much energy, which will consume your electricity bill.
Right.
So that's the analogy I want to try and give there.
That's
okay.
Brilliant.
But the inverter is a car with an automatic gearbox,
Oh, I see.
which changes depending on the circumstance to minimize the amount of energy you need to give you the cooling that you need.
Obviously, that works like when you put it on, if you regulate it, automatically the fan works.
Yes.
You have to regulate it, obviously.
Well, you have a setting. For example, for all, whether fixed speed or inverter, you have a setting. So I want my house to be 16 degrees or 14 degrees, whatever. So whatever that setting is, then the inverter will now automatically adjust itself depending on the amount of heat in the house.
Right.
And exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want 16 and let's say you're at 19, then it will bring it down to 16. Okay, you see what I mean? And then it will stop working. When it gets to around 16, it will stop working.
Out of curiosity, is there an AC that, I think you just have to say, is there an AC that you set at 16 degrees and whenever the house is above that, it kickstarts on it by itself on its own? Can you do that?
They all do that.
I mean, you don't have to touch it.
You have to touch it.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
it's automatic, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they all do that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Well, you
Really?
can have an automatic setting or you can have a manual setting. So you can set it manually on and off, or you can use it. You can get ones that are automatic and have temperature sensors in the various house. So if the temperature goes above a certain value, then the cooling will come on.
Is it like what we have, the heater, the central heating system we have here?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
You can do it the same way.
The same way.
Just opposite, just reverse. One is heating, one is
Okay,
cooling.
okay.
Yeah, you can probably even do a schedule of come on in the morning and whatever, come afternoon.
Like we do here.
Like you do for heating here.
Okay.
Yeah, intelligent system.
It's just the other way around, make it cool.
Or instead of making it hot.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's straightforward then.
It's very, 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 very straightforward. So I hope you understand the difference between inverter and fixed speed. because it's key to saving on your energy bills. But the next point is key also to make sure you get the right manufacturer and the availability of parts. Okay, so there are many manufacturers in Ghana. You've got Samsung, Gray, Media, manufacturer. No, sorry. These are European manufacturers that they export to Ghana.
Why do you call them manufacturers then in Ghana?
Okay, so when I say there are many manufacturers products, AC unit products in Ghana. They're manufactured abroad,
right?
But they are brought into Ghana. Right. Sorry, to be precise. Yeah.
Okay.
So for example, we've got Samsung. You've got Gray, you've got Media, you've got Broom, German products, you've got LG, and many others. Okay, NASCO, they do various air conditioning units. So we are sport for choice. There's enough choice, and some of them do the inverter AC, some of them do the fixed speed AC, some of them do both.
Do they assemble them in Ghana or just import them?
I don't know.
Why do we really have to import all these things?
Oh, don't know. But yeah, we're getting there slow. There is a company in Ghana actually, I think called SPS. They make a solar air conditioning units, which is also good as well, but expensive.
Are they very expensive?
Oh yeah.
So they make all the fabrics are local.
I'm not. They manufacture them in Ghana, so I haven't got enough detail.
Locally manufactured.
I believe it's manufactured. I believe they get all the raw materials in Ghana. But again, it was just a word of my video I watched. I haven't gone into much detail. But I did see their manufacturing assembly. It looks quite good. SPS, solar air conditioning. But again, expensive. Very expensive.
Is it more expensive than?
Oh yeah. Oh, miles more expensive. Yeah, miles more expensive. But that's fine. Because the idea going to get some free energy from the sun, so and most things that are efficient that way, or let's say free energy, you're going to pay for it up front and then make your money over time. So coming back to the parts, coming back to the manufacturers who import into Ghana, some have parts issues, so you have to be aware, because if your unit breaks down, then it may be a struggle, or you have to wait too long to get your replacement part. Okay. Now, comparing 3 or 4, LG and Samsung, for example, they are very good. Very good. A bit more expensive than the others. The parts are generally available in Ghana, but are expensive. Okay, a bit like owning a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, great car. You can get the parts, but it's expensive. Okay, so you just cut your cloth according to your own size. If you like LG, then that's fine as well. Okay, Media, MIDEA. The cost is moderate, let's say. Reasonable reputation, reasonable. The parts are readily available, I'm told, especially for the fixed speed versions. The inverter versions can begin to get a bit dodgy sometimes in the parts. So watch that. The version that I'm airing towards right now is called Grey, GREE. Moderate cost, good reputation, parts readily available for both the fixed speed and the inverter driven AC units. So that's what we want. We want moderate cost, good reputation, that it doesn't break down easily, and part availability. Okay, so Grey AC unit, that's where we're leaning towards right now, GREE. So guys, you need to obviously consider that for yourself. There are many more manufacturers that I didn't mention, but do your own research. We're here to provide the educational content for you to help you along the way. You can buy from various sources. For example, there's a company called Good Luck Africa in Osu, and they deliver directly to your home. And I've read some good reviews about them as well, which is great. I'll probably put the website in the description for you. It's a good idea, if you can, to buy from the manufacturer's appointed distributor in Ghana, if you can find them. The reason being, then you avoid any fakes, if there are any out there. You avoid any fakes or any counterfeit products, and hopefully you can get a warranty as well if possible. So I think
I know they do that a lot in Ghana. They give warranty a lot in Ghana.
Yeah, how it actually works or not is another thing. But I know there are some areas where they give warranty. Well, I've heard various stories, but yes, but yeah. So that's it really, and it's that's the sort of overview of the type of AC units in terms of their working overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
What do you mean welcome home?
That was a long lecture.
Oh, right, okay, in that sense. In that sense.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it was useful for the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, don't mind us. I hope you really enjoyed everything Kingsley has table out for us today. I did enjoy it. I'm going to ask him a few questions once we're done.
Okay.
Once we're done.
Oh, okay. I think you can ask me on screen. Okay, fine, go on.
No, I'm going to ask you once we're done.
Okay, fair enough.
So today we talked about how the AC unit works. Number 2, the type of refrigerant. Kingsley explained that in details.
Yep.
And number 3, we talked about the 2 main types of AC unit systems, so you understand which one you want to use. Okay, and then we talked about the manufacturers in Ghana, and then number 5, the availability of the parts, which is very important. And we told you that we took Grey.
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 Gree. Grey.
Grey.
That's where we're leaning towards now. We haven't purchased them yet, but that's where
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards now.
Yeah.
Grey. I was leaning towards media. Is it media? Yeah, media. But I'm beginning to hear some bad reports, so currently leaning towards Grey. Gree.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so we've come to the end of our program today, and I hope you really enjoyed it. So once more, I would like to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your comments. Honestly, I would like to see more comments down below.
Yeah.
Please do that. If you have any questions, please ask Kingsley. And if you want us to talk about anything, please do let us know. We'll research on that topic for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And if this is your first time of watching this program, of seeing us, watching our channel, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and please hit the notification button, alright, so that you get notified whenever I will come on or post a video, so you can benefit, one of the first beneficiaries.
Exactly to our videos.
To our videos. So thank you so much.
Exactly.
And
what I like to say is, no question is too basic. I mean, Crystal's a dental nurse, and she hasn't got an engineering background like I do. Hence the reason why she's asking all these questions. So I'm hopefully it's helping. In fact, there was a comment from, I think it was a lady, who said, "Thank you very much for asking those questions on our behalf." So
thank you.
That's good. That's good. So no question is too basic, because we're not talking to engineers. We're talking to everybody. So hence I try to make it as basic as possible. You can explain most technical things as basic as possible and give analogies for people to have an understanding, so you can ask the right questions to your builder and make the right choices, basically.
Okay, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. That's it. Guys, you've been with today. So see you next time on the Asher and Gad channel. All the best.